Hi, everybody. It's Zach. Welcome to a new episode of my YouTube channel. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about research, specifically researching both genealogy and um, historical research. I work in the public history field, so I have a little bit of experience with this and wanted to share one of the most important tips that I always try to relay to new researchers and researchers using our collection on how they can best maximize their time and their efforts when they're trying to find the answer to the questions that they're looking for. Now, these tips are going to apply both to genealogy, family history research, and also any other type of history research, local history, and also large scale historic research. And they're really designed to help you as a researcher get the answers you're looking for as easily as possible. Now, on the screen here, you're going to see a pyramid. I jokingly call this Zach's research pyramid. Um, this is what I use um, kind of as a visual to help people who have difficulty or are looking for a place to start with their research. At the bottom, you will find public works, published works. Now, published works are pretty self explanatory. They're anything that might have been published about the topics that you're looking for. For genealogy, that's especially true of things like family histories that may be about your family. For local histories, that might be a town history or a county history. It might be a business history. It might be a regional history, a church history, anything that someone else has already written and published that contains information about the topic you're looking for. Now, don't necessarily limit yourself to just titles specifically related to your topic. A lot of people might be researching, let's say, a business, and if they come in looking for a published work and don't find a history of that business, um, then they feel like there is not a published work that's going to help them. However, the reality is there's other published works that might be helpful. So, in that instance, there may be a published work on the town that the business is located in, and that business may be mentioned in there. The business owner may be mentioned in a family history that talks about um, that community's leaders and business owners and may reference him or her. So, don't limit yourself to published works that have specific titles um, related directly to your topic of research. Instead, you want to try to be as broad as possible. Another really good example of that is if you're researching the history of a town, be sure to not only look at any specific published works related to that town, but also look at works related to the county that that town's in, the region that the town's in, and also the state that the town's in. Even small communities, a lot of times, might show up in a history of a state, and that would be a different perspective and perhaps different information that might be in the local published work that specifically relates to that town. Now, published works are the first thing on our pyramid because that's really the base of our research. It is really the easiest thing that you can look at because it's already something that someone has done. It is may give you the answer that you're looking for without having to search anywhere else. Many published works have indexes, they have references and things. So if you find a mention of the topic you're looking for in there, um, it's going to be very helpful to you to look for other things beyond just specifically those published works or other things in the index that may be related, like different spellings of a last name, different places, different regions that may be tied into the place you're looking at. It may list other businesses related to the business you're searching for, or other related events if you're looking for a specific event, like something happens in a community. Published works also usually have the most information because they draw together resources from all over and all different types of resources. So if you're looking for something and it's in a published work, the reality is it's going to have a lot of information from a lot of different places, and you won't have to look at all those different places because someone else has already done that work for you. Now, that won't mean they didn't miss something. It won't mean there may be something they didn't leave out, or something that you can interpret in a different way. But that published work already has information in there that is going to really help you get on your way. So that's really the base, the foundation of our research. And many times that is the place where most people are able to find their answers if it's a relatively simple question that they're looking for. So always, always, always start with published works and be sure to broaden the topics you're looking for in terms of the published works that you look at. The second thing on our list are abstracts. Now, abstracts are something that a lot of people don't always talk about, but I found that there's a lot of them in the genealogy world, in the local history world, and also in the larger research world. People will take a lot of time and use a lot of resources to abstract records to make them easier for us to look at. A lot of times this happens with things like marriages, death records, birth records, church records. Also, you'll get abstracts of newspapers, especially things like obituaries. I know here we have abstracts of local obituaries for a large date range, but you also get things included in those abstracts like indexes, indexes of specific events, timelines of when things happened. Um, and by looking at those, what you're able to do is save yourself a lot of time looking through primary source material. Now, an abstract is only a limited version of what actually exists in that primary source. So it's certainly not everything. And I found a lot of times that researchers look at that and assume that it is everything, when really the answer to the question that they're looking for, or a deeper answer, is available in the primary source. So don't assume that's everything. But what it does is it saves a researcher a lot of times from having to search at different places. An abstract of a marriage record is going to let you know the date that the marriage happened. It's going to let you know when the bond might be recorded, or the minister return filed. And by doing that, you don't have to look through all of the marriage returns or all of the marriage bonds in order to find the one that you're looking for. You just know what date to look for. So if you came in and were looking for some record in 1820, even, there could be hundreds of those for a year. So an abstract will let you know, hey, I need to look at March 27th, 1820, and that will give me the answer that I'm looking for. It's also to give you some basic information that comes out of that record. So maybe if you're looking for a specific date, or you're looking for the father of a person, or you're looking for where a land transaction happened, the abstract may help you find that without having to actually go to the primary source. Now, I always like to tell people to use the primary source again, but if you're looking for a very simple question, that abstract may help you a lot. Um, and it's especially going to give you the place to go look. Now, that's the next step above published works. Um, and to be honest, with those two things together, about two-thirds of researchers that I've had experience with have already found what they're looking for. They're already found the answers to the questions that they have. Now, that does not mean there's not more information out there, but they've probably gone through the research that they feel comfortable doing and that they want to do. And to be honest, if that's all they are looking for, that's all right. Um, and many times those published works and abstracts will help them get those answers very quickly when they thought they might have had to shift through some primary sources or something that would take them more time. Now, they're really the top of our pyramid, and the third thing that I always direct people to go to once they've checked published works and once they've checked abstracts is archives. Archives are really any type of primary source that you can think of. It could be a photograph, it could be a document, a book, a journal, a diary, a newspaper, um, ephemera, recipe books, ledgers, really anything that you could think of. This comes in paper or photograph format, um, even sometimes textiles and things like that, that may be in a collection that may have information about the question that you're looking for. A lot of times this takes different formats. So for example, newspapers might be available in paper copy, they might be available in archives in microfilm copy, or they might be available in digitized copies. Um, so we're referring to all these different formats, but they really are the same resource. Now, many times the abstracts, will, like I said, will lead us to the specific things in the archives that we want to look at. However, if there's no abstracts available, archives can be very tedious to look through. Um, Thankfully, there's archivists out there whose job it is to help you access the materials you're looking for. Archivists prepare things like finding aids, they process collections, they do catalog entries, they prepare digital archives, um, and all types of other things that are going to help you in your search. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, but that means that it's much easier than if you were just looking at a random stack of papers or a random stack of books or something else. They're also definitely a wealth of knowledge. So you want to be able to talk to the archivist about what you're looking for and follow their advice. For some reason, and I don't know why, many people feel the need to almost hide something that they're looking for, or only to provide the basic information they think the archivist needs in order to help them move through the archives and their research. However, I will always say that the more information that you provide, the more you open up about what your research topic is and what you've already learned about it, the easier the archivist is going to be able to find resources for you and the more resources that are going to be available. So please, please, please be sure to share as much as you can when you contact the archivist to make a research visit. And to follow up on that, be sure to make an appointment with the archivist for that research visit. It's very difficult for a public history official or public history staff to be able to pull something together at the last minute to help somebody. Now, people in the public history field always want to do that because they're very service oriented, but you have to realize in 15 minutes or even less, it's very difficult to do a comprehensive search of a catalog, a comprehensive search of a collection to help you find everything that you want to look through. So always, always, always contact in advance so that they can do that deep dive into their collection and into the records of what they hold to help you find what you're looking for. And I will tell you that will reap dividends for you because there may be things you miss or the archivists miss if they don't have enough time. But if you take the time and work through and provide information and enough time for the archivist to process that, I can tell you that you will find at least something, if it's in their collection, that will help you find the question answers to the questions that you have. And archives really provide many of the important things that we're looking for. Um, but like I said, they sometimes can be very difficult. It's almost to a degree a needle in a haystack. If you were searching for a newspaper, um, many times it might be a weekly or a daily. That's a lot of newspapers to look through to find something. But once you find it, that information that's available may not be available anywhere else, or you may be the first person to really piece that into the narrative that you're researching for your family or for something else. It really is going to be priceless. So be sure to take the time to complete this third step of the research pyramid if you want to be able to really develop a comprehensive answer to the questions you're looking for and a comprehensive understanding of the topics that you're researching. Because I will say, despite the effort, despite the time it takes, using the archives and using them properly almost always reaps rewards. So, again, just to recap, this is just my research pyramid that I developed to try to help people when they're trying to do some type of history or genealogy research. Starting out with published works, the easy stuff, the stuff that's out there, the stuff that someone else has done, leading into abstracts, indexes, things like that. Whether they're online or in person, many abstracts are available online. Um, they really help you um, get started and find where to look and maybe some additional information. And then finally, those abstracts leading us into the archives, working with an archivist or some staff member in order to really identify what to look at, um, and find those primary sources that are related to your family or related to something that you're looking for. And hopefully, if you follow these 3 steps, you move through them and take the time to really analyze them, um, your research will be much easier, and much more productive, because you're going to be able to find something that you're looking for that you might not have been able to identify. And again, I'm going to just reiterate, be sure to work with the staff members of the place that you're visiting. Share information with them. Don't surprise them. Make appointments. Reach out to them in advance. And I will tell you that they'll be able to help you through this pyramid in ways that you wouldn't be able to imagine, if you're open and willing to share things with them. So if you like this episode, I'm going to try to do a couple others about research and things like that. So be sure to subscribe to this channel. Check out all the other things that I talk about with Life with Zach, and subscribe and like this video. So hope you have a wonderful day.